What's up, Pro Flippers? On today's episode, we're bringing you another special treat. We did an interview with Flipper University alumni Stacy.
She was one of our first 100K Pro Flipper Club members, and it's been really fun to be a part of her journey. And we wanted to bring you this quick interview. We did this in one of our training groups that we're in the process of right now. It was a little series that we did to really help people grow with their encourage them that they can do this too. Because a lot of times we just get in our own heads and we don't think we can do it. So she dealt with that a lot, and so we wanted to talk to her about that, how she busted through some of those limiting beliefs. So we hope it provides you some encouragement and motivation as well.
What's up, guys?
All right, let me just double check that we are live in the right group.
We got a special guest on today, Stacy Gallego. Super excited to talk to her, get some of her insight. If you guys have been around here for a while, you know Stacy. She's in Flipping for Profit. She's in the freight group, and she kills it with her flip. So very excited to have her part of having her work with us and be a part of the group and be able to answer everybody's questions. So she agreed to come on here and answer some questions today and kind of walk through her process of where she started and where she's at now. So
yeah, and I wanted to add too, we've been able to work close with Stacy, so it's been fun to see her gain confidence, and then just to go through the ups and downs of the whole thing, and we'll talk through that. So it's really cool to see her growth, so and confidence in herself. So
absolutely.
All right, well, you want to bring her on? Let me make sure we should be live in here. We'll go ahead and bring you on, Stacy. All right,
hey guys.
Stacy!
All right, we can hear you. Let's see.
First off, thanks for jumping on here, Stacy, and taking some time out of your day. Greatly appreciate it. And yeah, kind of give us a little bit of background about your journey in flipping.
Yeah, well, I had sold stuff on eBay, just little tiny stuff. I used to call it my beauty treatment money. We'd go get our toenails done, or never dreaming that there would actually be all kinds of money I was leaving on the table for years and years and years. I hadn't really even thought about it until in 2018. And some people that I've been around Rob and Melissa for a while, and some people know this already, but some people might not. In 2018, I wanted to buy an RV, and we had done, all the Dave Ramsey stuff. And so my husband said, well, you can get whatever you want. If you can come up with $20,000, we'll get an RV. So I set out to find a way to do that. And I was watching a blogger and came upon your video, and you guys were talking about selling large items, higher profit, lower volume. And I thought that makes sense. Even though I had no idea how I was going to do it, I came and told John, I said, hey, I think I figured out how I'm going to get the money to get our RV, to which he said, we are not doing that. There's no way But I was kind of on my own in the beginning. And so I started watching you guys, learning, and then I sold my first big item, and my husband thought, hey, this might be a good deal. So yeah, I started out scared, not knowing what I was doing, and yeah, here I am today, still doing it. So
the rest is history. I love it.
The rest
What was
is
that
history.
big first item?
The first freight item, before I started this, I only sold stuff small enough to fit in a USPS package. I had never sold anything and never used UPS or FedEx because I was I saw them as options, but I was too scared to do it because I thought it was complicated until I started watching you, Rob. And I'm like, I have been losing money all these years not using FedEx and UPS. So my first huge item that I really got a taste of it was a Viking cooktop, which I had learned by watching you, and I bought it for $100. And I think it was 8 days later, I sold it for $800. So I came and told John, I said, hey, I sold that cooktop. He goes, you did? How much? I go, $800. He's like, what? Somebody bought a used cooktop for $800? I go, yeah. So, and because he wasn't super excited about what I was doing, I thought I need to package this thing by myself. So I watched your videos, I put it together, and it was almost 100 pounds. So I couldn't even pick it up to get it into the van. John had to help me, but I did it. I got it. I sold it and shipped it. And then I started getting a little bit of confidence, hey, maybe there's something to this. And then I think in my first month, probably the first couple weeks of taking the freight shipping course from you guys, I got my first large item, and I didn't even know what it was, but it looked expensive. it was a disability, like a disability kind of thing to help someone get around in their house when they aren't able to move. And so I bought it from the guy for $125 and he delivered it. My husband said I wasn't there when he delivered it, and they said, oh, he was like fat and happy. You put that $125, not knowing I was going to turn it around and sell it less than I think I sold it like in 25 days later for $3,000.
Wow.
And that was our first experience. We didn't know anything what we were doing, and we figured it out. And so that's really the encouragement I have for you guys. None of us know what we're doing in the beginning. We don't know what we're doing, but we can only know what we're doing by just doing it. And so I kind of started taking a lot more chances and just saying, I'm going to buy that because I know the comps are good. And then I'm just going to figure it out later. And I've been figuring it out ever since. But stay close in the group because the group knows what they're doing and they have a lot of really good experience, and, everybody helps each other. And so, yeah, it's been pretty cool.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you what made you, because a lot of people, they have the urge to jump in, they see it, they're like, okay, I know this can work. I know I can find something or I can do it. What was that turning moment in your journey that you're like, okay, I'm not just going to know that this works. I'm actually going to buy this Viking cooktop and I'm going to go through it. And my husband's not on board. I'm going to do it and I'm going to show him and I'm going to show him the profit. What in your mind, like your mindset, just explain a little bit about your mindset in that moment.
I think I know myself, so I can talk myself out of doing all kinds of things. And I think I just had to get over that hump. And I talk to myself too, like, what's the worst thing that could happen? I sell it. It doesn't work out. I paid $100 for the item. I'd be out $100. I'm going to take my chances. Like, I'm going to go for this. If it doesn't work out, then, it'll be $100 lesson, but I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. And so I really had to force myself to buy the item, list it, and then just have the confidence that I can figure out anything. And everything really is. And then I told you guys, I read that book. Yeah. Everything is figure outable. Like, nothing you can't figure out. There's always a way to figure it out. And part of my learning journey too was making mistakes and watching other people make mistakes. It's like, oh, note to self, don't do that. Or if I do something like, okay, I know what I did this time and I'm not going to do that the next time. And so you just start growing, and then you start seeing results, and then you start sending things out that get there, and the people are thrilled because they can't get them anywhere else. And you've just provided a really great service for them. So I started looking at, like, I'm helping people too and providing a service for them. So I just I had to force myself to get over that and just know that, okay, I'm going to list this, even if it's not comfortable, and I'm going to figure it out as I go along, which I did. And now I'm, getting the benefits of that. So.
Absolutely.
Did you
awesome.
Wait to get it listed because you were nervous?
Or? Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, I waited, and then I listed it and prayed every day, God, please do not let this thing sell, and then I thought, well, that's not really good for business if it never sells, because I was just like dreading it. I just thought it was going to be this big giant thing, like, oh, it's so scary. But it's like anything that you do in the beginning. There's things that you're like, oh, I don't know exactly how this works, but this is how the course told me to do it. And inside the group, people are telling me this is what I should do. So I'm going to do it. And the first one went great. And I've had, a lot of really good success with it. And now I kind of feel like I'm like kind of a professional now, because Rob taught me so much. Like, I put that in my listing. Hey, I'm a professional at this, because what I didn't realize in the beginning was the people that aren't used to freight shipping are as scared to buy it from you than you are to list it. So I always tell them, I'm going to partner with you, and I follow it all the way to you, and we have communication all the way. So they are comfortable, like, hey, I can buy this from this person because they know what they're doing. So, and I only know that because I got trained by the best.
And you have the experience now. You've
Absolutely.
done it. So
I do.
I
do. And really, after you do the first one, you have the experience, because it's just a repetition of what you do. If you do things that are wrong, then you just know, then I don't do that the next time. And then you just continue to improve the process, and it gets easier and better. And so
Yeah.
it's fun.
I love that you added that into the listings too, because you're right. The buyers do
Oh,
get nervous because they're like, how is this going to actually make, they're spending a lot of money with you. So like,
Yes.
is this going to actually make it to me? Am I going to, yeah.
Right.
So you want to know that.
And it is good. Even just the last stretchers that we sold that are actually getting shipped out today, that buyer sent a message to me, call me about shipping. I called him up on the phone and I said, hey, what's going on? He walked through the process. I said, I can easily send you when you want me to. I can send you once they go shipped. I can send you the tracking number. And having that communication back and forth, I mean, it gives them a peace of mind of. And I think most of the people who are buying stuff from us, they're finding us on Google, and then they're jumping over to eBay and opening an eBay account to buy it.
Yeah.
So they're new to eBay. So they don't even understand exactly the whole process of what's going on. But when you get on the phone and you show the confidence of what you're doing and you're giving them the play-by-play of this is how it's going to happen, this is how you're going to get it. And I even told that guy, listen, if you like these, call me, let me know, and we can get you some more of them. I have more of them if you want to. And it's one of those things that you can just build that rapport and build a contact with somebody who might buy some more stuff from you in the future. So that's really cool.
And I've done that too with who was buying these little heaters that go into the convenience stores. He bought one and then said, hey, do you have more? I go, yeah. And I had one listed, and then I went and purchased another one locally, and he bought both of them from me. So I have like repeat customers like, hey, this worked out pretty good. So yeah, there's money all over. And it's so fun because, you know, anytime we need money, I just think, oh, well, what can I flip? What can I go and get to? So
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great business. It's super fun.
Absolutely. And give you guys a little bit more background about Stacy. Stacy, once she went through Flipper University, she actually reached out. She was the first person who actually came aboard and helped Melissa and I with some stuff on the back end. And we got close to her and her family throughout the last couple of years. And it's been really, really cool. But she still has stuck with this business, and she's done amazing things. She's been able to accomplish. Like we can only teach people so much stuff. It has to be that step. You have to physically take that step. And Stacy has done that. And she is, I mean, she's just killing it. She week after week, month after month, she's just been on fire with the business. And it's been really, really amazing to watch her grow. So yeah, it's really, really cool for sure.
Yeah. So what would you say, like I mentioned earlier, like we've seen you grow, but there was a time like a year or so ago, like you've done all these shipments, you've got the confidence, and then your confidence kind of dropped for a little bit. And like, so
Rob was like, what's the matter with you?
Yeah,
You know what you're doing.
What's going on? So, you know, that, but it's nice for people to know too, like, okay, I have to keep working on this. Like, I know I can do this. So what are some things that you did to help you overcome that, like maybe a blip in your confidence?
Yeah.
Before you answer that first, I remember Stacy actually reaching out to me and saying, hey, Rob, what do you think about this? It was like a $10,000 item for the comps. And it was like $100 or $200. And I'm like, Stacy, what are you asking me?
You don't have to ask
You
me.
understand this business. You get this. And it was really cool. But go ahead, answer that question for sure.
Yeah. And I think that was a learning experience for me too. It's like, hey, you know, Rob taught me. He gave me the tools. Even he thinks I can do it. So why am I thinking I can't do it? I can do it. I can do anything. Now it's like, I look at something and think, if I can build a pallet or get it on a pallet and get it to the place, I can sell it. So, yeah. So I'm sorry, I missed your question.
Like, how do you overcome, like, whenever you've done a couple already, and then all of a sudden you kind of were second guessing yourselves. Like, how did you overcome that, like, insecurity or of not having confidence?
Yeah.
I think for me, it's kind of part of my personality that I kind of have these little dips and you know, if even with things that sometimes things get slow and I think, oh, eBay's broke. None of my stuff is selling. Like, that's just not the case. And year after year, I realize if I do what I know works, which is listing and being active on eBay and continuing to source, I'm always going to make a consistent income. And then I really have to talk to myself like, Stacy, you've already done this. You don't need to be afraid. Like, we're going to use the same tools that we do for every other thing. We're going to list it, and then we're going to figure it out as we go along. And it always works out that way. It always works out. And yeah, so I've really had to, you know, kind of talk to myself and talk myself through it. And I always ask myself, what's the worst case scenario? It's never bad enough not to sell it. it's never bad enough to put it on there and find a buyer for it. And we sold some giant pallets where we were just like relieved when it was at the, we hope it, really complicated. And we didn't always have, at first we didn't even have a truck. We got people that would either deliver to us, friends that would give us, help us out. And we did it in the first year, probably first 2 years. And then we got a little trailer that went on the back of our van and a tow package. So we've just grown into our business, year by year. But yeah, we've done some crazy stuff. Never, like, things I never thought we would do. So
I know that not having a truck and trailer is a big obstacle for a lot of people, especially starting this. So can you talk about like some things that you did to overcome that before you ever got a trailer? Because you just recently got one not that long ago.
We've probably had it now 2 years, and I've been doing this. So for the first 2 years that I was selling large items, we did not. We had friends that would help, or we'd do trades with them. Hey, we'll, do this for you if we can use your trailer or, your truck or whatever. And then we'd pay people. If you pay someone $40 for gas and you're getting a $5,000 item for $100, it's worth it, So we just kind of worked with people like that. And then you can go right down to U-Haul and rent a trailer for $50 for the whole day.
Yeah. And
we've done that too, where we've, had to pick up something large. Actually, I think it's cheaper than that. I think it's like $35. You just go down there and, if you have a way to hook it up or a truck that you can borrow. Or we tell people, hey, we don't have any way to pick it up. We're interested. And they're like, oh, we'll deliver it. Okay. We'll be home at 5.
Robbie's always interested when you get people to deliver. He's like, nobody ever delivers to me.
I've done this for years, and I've never, Stacy always tells me, hey, they brought it to me. They brought it to me. They delivered it to me. I'm like, how in the heck do you get people to do that? You pay them, you offer them less money, they bring it in, they deliver it to you. How do you do that?
I don't know. I don't know. I was telling them, I got cash if you want to bring it over. I got cash right at the door for you.
That's awesome. Yeah. And there is, you're right. If there's a will, there's a way. If you have the desire, if you have the need to make some money, if you have the need to do it, there is a way to do any of this. And you did mention about the trailer. You can go to U-Haul. You can go to Lowe's, Home Depot. They all rent trucks too. You can get a truck for 20, 30, $40 for a couple hours or whatever it is. You have so many things at your fingertips. When the price and the important part about what we do is getting stuff as cheap as you possibly can. So you have an extra $50 in the profit to go and rent a truck or a trailer if you have to for the day. You have that in there. That's why you have to find these items at the right price that you can flip them for sure.
Exactly. Yep. And they're everywhere. I used to think, oh, okay, I got one good thing. It's for sure going to dry up. Never. There's every day you can find something that's worth, and people are just like throwing it out. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable the amount of money that can be made, which is so fun about the business. Yeah. First of all, it's fun. I enjoy looking around for stuff. I enjoy getting a good deal, and I really enjoy making a good living doing it. So it beats nursing every day.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit too. So you started really doing this as a business really 4 years ago, was it now? So
yep, in 2018.
And you are our first 100K member. So you hit 100K. What are your goals now for your business too?
Now I have, my biggest thing right now is I only have 2 storages, which are full. So I'm trying to kind of get rid of some of my inventory, and then we're going to rearrange. So I'm using the best, the space, the best way that I can do. But yeah, just continuing with what I do, try to be consistent and sourcing, telling people what I do. That is such a big thing in this business. And Rob, you were saying that too. You never did that in the first years of your business, but I had someone move. She is like she answers their phones. She's a friend of mine at a moving company, and they were getting rid of all of this lab equipment, thousands of dollars worth of lab. They're going to throw it in the garbage. And she's like, you want it? I'm like, yeah, I'll be right over. So, there's free stuff that you can get there on all of the apps. There's just thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff. And it's so fun for us because my husband John's retired, and then I kind of retired from nursing, and it's like we want to travel and we want to do, like, I was able to pay for our cruise and just like our traveling stuff. And yeah, it's just a really, really great business. So I've kind of been stagnant in listing stuff, which really hurts my sales, when I don't list. So I've really started, I'm trying to do 5 listings a day and get some of the stuff listed. And then as soon as I do that, my stuff starts selling again. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It is crazy to see how that correlates with sales come in,
Yeah.
listing sales come in. It is crazy,
It's
but
like
it
you
is
should
true.
know that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, then
years and years we see the same exact
Mhm.
thing. So yeah, it's one of those things you have to do it. So I'm in the same boat as well, trying to get stuff listed.
What is one of your favorite flips that you can think of?
Oh,
Larger
let's see.
one.
Oh, I think the motorcycle sidecar. I was doing that with you, Rob, and you found that, and you're like, "Go down buy this." And I'm like, "Okay." These people, they probably would have given it to us, but we're like, $200. They're like, "Sure." And I sold that for, I think, 3,200 or 3,300, and that was a giant pallet, which took John like 2 days to make it. But for $3,000,
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that. So that was fun because it was really unique and really, I had people messaging me like, "You're never going to get what you're asking for. I'll give you $1,000 for it." And I thought, somebody somewhere wants this really cool thing and they're going to pay for it. And they did. And
Absolutely.
it didn't take long. I think I sold it in less than 30 days.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love too that John wasn't sure about this business in the beginning, and now he's like doing it with you and like has
Yes.
you guys
He's so funny. And in fact, he watched all your videos, for making a pallet. And then our freight company actually takes pictures of his and tells the customers, "This is how you make a pallet. Like, this is what it should look like." They're like, "We get so excited when you guys come in because we want to see like what kind of pallet you made."
I know there's a lot of people too that have, maybe they don't have the support of a spouse fully. And so, but they can see that you can do it. It
Yeah.
can do a lot. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
had a couple of hurdles, working against you, and you overcame them, and the confidence. And what would you, what's something you would leave everybody with? And if anybody has questions who's on, please feel free to drop any questions in the comments for Stacy. We can ask her questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what would you leave somebody with, like, is if they're facing they have these fears and it's like paralyzing them from doing
Yes.
anything because they know
Yeah. I really did feel like I was paralyzed with fear in the beginning. Like I was just like, "Oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing." But I did, because you guys had all the resources there. So all I had to do was just like watch what you were doing. And that is the one thing I did. If like, you don't have to know like the smartest people in the world. You just have to know who's winning at what you want to do. I saw Rob was winning and I just did exactly everything that he was doing. And I literally repeated what he does every day. And, and then it ended up being where I was, at my nursing job, kind of, I don't want to say abused, but they were like moving me all over the hospital. I was like, "Oh, this is a drag." And then I would, make $500 or $1,000 on my eBay business while I was at work. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I am going to do this, full time. And so I kind of just stopped going to work and kind of retired from the job. Yeah, it was like, it was really weird because I had worked there 7 years and they had transferred. I was covering all their shifts and being transferred all over the hospital. I was like a big asset for them. And they hadn't given me a raise in like 7 years. So I thought, what would Dave Ramsey do? Dave Ramsey would go in there to, to the human resources and tell them I need a raise. So I did. And they go, "Oh yeah, well, we just got the contract, okayed. So we're going to give you a raise." And it was 49 cents. I left there that day and I told John, "I'm betting on myself because I'm pretty sure I'm worth more than 49 cents an hour. I'm going to do my business full time." And then it just kind of exploded from there. So I think knowing why you want to do something too also is important. Like, hey, maybe you have a job that you don't like, or maybe you're in a financial situation where you really do have to, make some extra income. This is such a great job and it's so rewarding. And the exchange of your time is very, not like going to a job where you have to exchange 8 hours for X amount. You can exchange a couple hours a day and make way more than you're probably getting paid at your job. So I think just knowing why you want to do something. For us, we started out with a goal, and we ended up saving $20,000 in a year and a half for our RV fund just by flipping. So I think that was great. And then we realized we could do a lot of other things with it. And then it was like, after that, we just thought we could do this like real money. This is like real money. This is like a real job. So I just think figuring out why you want to do it in the first place, and really, make a little sticky and put it up on your refrigerator and on your mirror and say, hey, I'm going to give myself a year or two and work this business consistently, doing the work every day. Maybe you want to leave your job. Maybe you want to do something else with your life. It sure is rewarding to do something that's so much fun that you actually can get paid really well. And it's not the same as working an 8-hour or 12-hour shift. You're not exchanging that kind of time for just a little bit of money. It seems like the exchange is a lot more rewarding because I'm not putting that much time into it and getting back.
Right.
So,
and most of it's fun. I mean, there
Oh my gosh,
are
it is.
parts of business that aren't fun, but most of it is fun.
It is.
So,
And this is what I tell myself too. Everything I list this month is my paycheck next month. If I want to get paid, I'm going to do the work. I gotta do the listings. I need to do them every day to keep things going. So that's motivating too, because next month comes and if I don't get paid, that's no fun. So
Right.
I just know now that, hey, it's like working on commission. You got to do the work and then you eventually get paid, which seems to be consistent lately. So
yeah.
That is such a good point. And a lot of people say that for side hustles. Hey, if you want to get paid a part-time wage and you treat it like a part-time job, that's what you're going to get.
A hobby. Treat it like a hobby. It's going to
exactly.
be a hobby.
If you want to make more money, if you want a full-time wage out of it, you got to treat it like it's a business. You got to put the time into it, the effort into it to really get the payoff. So such a great point for sure that you said.
But that's another reason too why we love this business model, because we are spending less time doing the tasks that you have to do, like taking pictures, cleaning, listing. Like you're not doing thousands of items, so it does go a lot faster.
Yeah.
So which is nice for the paycheck.
For sure.
So
and then when this is how I look at it too, because we love to travel. I think when I'm home, I work hard, and then I can play hard. I can take off for a month or two. I just put my store on vacation. Yeah, I can. I even sometimes leave it on when I'm on vacation if I'm going to be home within a week or so. And then, I can still sell while
you
I'm on
sold the
vacation.
sidecar while you were gone.
Yes, I was on
while you're in Florida. That's what I thought.
I was in Florida. Yes, and I was like, I just made $3,000. This is a great vacation.
That's awesome.
So a big thing to know, like, it's okay to talk to yourself and build your confidence up and give yourself a little pep talk when you're thinking, how am I going to do this? Know that you can figure it out.
Absolutely.
And probably read that book would be a good one too.
Yes.
Read that. So
yes, it's really good. And then just knowing that we are going to make mistakes. If you aren't doing it because you're going to make a mistake, you're going to make a mistake. We're just going to tell you that up front. Everybody does. And if you don't do it because you're scared you're going to make a mistake, you're really leaving the best opportunity on the table, because anything can be worked out. People are reasonable. Even if you make a mistake, I have had very few people that gave me a hard time about anything that I've done wrong, and I have made mistakes. So I think just go for it. Just start listing the stuff, start taking what you're learning in the group, investigating the comps. And we're not gamblers either. We're not just randomly gambling on some weird item. We know what the comps say. So we know that we're going to be able to sell it, and there's no surprise about it. So there's really no gamble as long as you're looking, using the resources, checking comps, and
getting it listed. That's a big one.
Get it listed. And we'll walk you through the shipping, and then once you do it, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Now I can just do anything I want.
That's what most people say too. They do one and they're like, oh, that wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. So, we lost. Did we lose her?
Maybe.
I am so sorry, you guys.
Okay.
It's
We're
cool.
wrapping
Well,
up anyway.
Stacy, we want to thank you for your time. Thank you for jumping on here. And yeah, we want to be respectful of your time too. You look busy. So thanks for doing this for us. Thanks for jumping on and giving people some great advice, some great tips to get out of their stuck, get out of their own heads.
And their confidence.
Exactly. So they can get the confidence and start doing it. So
yep, you can do it. If I can do it, was the scaredy caddest person there was ever. I thought it was almost embarrassing. I was so scared. But now it's like I did it. And then once you gain the experience, you get more confidence. It's like a muscle. You know, if you let your muscle hang and you don't do anything, it atrophies and you're weak and you can't do anything. Then you start, using a little bit of weights. Maybe you start with a 3 pound and then you add a little more on. And then pretty soon you're like really strong. It's the same thing with your confidence. Like do it and then do a little more and then a little more. And then pretty soon you're like, I can buy a boat and flip a boat.
We got this. We got this. So,
Absolutely. Cool. Well, Stacy, thank you so much for doing this. Greatly appreciate you. Greatly appreciate all that you do in the group and helping everybody. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Have an amazing day.